What's up, everyone? Welcome to a special episode of the Inside Post as we discuss our top 10 3-year-old horses currently in training or that have hit the track this summer, and let's get into it. 150 subs away from 1,000, so make sure to go down below, help us out, hit that subscribe. We appreciate everyone talking and discussing the horse racing so far this summer with us. Here we go. Number 10, we have Parenting. A late bloomer for Bob Baffert in here with his other crop of 3-year-olds and Muth and Nisos that we haven't yet seen recently. Parenting comes off of the first in the Affirm Stakes, breaking his maiden at Santa Anita, $92,000 in earnings. Currently pointing towards the Travers or the Pacific Classic, I believe, at Del Mar for Bob Baffert for the remaining of the summer. 100 and 101 speed figures in those last two starts, so definitely one that's going to get a lot of buzz, especially coming into the Travers, facing a lot of these 3-year-olds that have already picked up a Triple Crown win or has a big stakes win under the belt already. So definitely one to take into consideration that just made our top 10. Number 9, we have Dragoon Guard, another lightly raced horse, late bloomer for Brad Cox, another one pointing for the Travers. Broke its maiden, I believe, at Keeneland, and then goes to an allowance at Churchill. First in the Indiana Derby, beating out, I think, Stronghold was really the only other contender in there. $311,000 so far in earnings for this horse. So definitely one that looks really good. Obviously, Son of Arrogate, you got that big white gray color to it. Looks really good. This one's been in our inside picks for the past 2 races at the Indiana Derby and his allowance win at Churchill. So if you followed us on TikTok or YouTube Shorts, you know we've been giving this one out or kind of had our eye on this one all summer. Number 8, we have Sierra Leone. Yes, close second in the Kentucky Derby and a kind of a disappointing third in the Belmont Stakes. Just ran into Dornoch in a really good mind frame coming into those races. However, we'll see where Sierra Leone ends up for Chad Brown right now, pointing to Jim Dandy, I believe, is number 1, and then Travers would be number 2 for Sierra Leone. $2 million in earnings. Obviously, late pace runner in here. We got the jockey change in the Belmont. Did it help? We don't know. We'll see if it helps or something changes again. Going into the Jim Dandy or even the Travers, what will Chad Brown try next? The horse obviously getting a lot of buzz into the Derby, into the Belmont Stakes. The horse will probably carry a lot of buzz throughout the summer and into the fall. Next, we have Forever Young, the horse that ran third to Sierra Leone. I think the horse is probably better. That's why I have it 1 spot ahead. Going to probably come back hopefully for the Breeders' Cup Classic. We've yet to see anything yet from this Japan runner. Obviously a big win in the Saudi Derby and the UAE Derby. And then comes in and finishes third in the Kentucky Derby. So probably going to take the same path that Dermasoda Gaki did last year and come into the Breeders' Cup Classic. And I think this horse has is a real contender for the Breeders' Cup Classic. Just like would like to see a prep race or some type of race before then. That gives us the indicator that this horse is deserving of being in the top 10 and running with these other 3-year-old American horses. 6, we have Mystik Dan, Kenny McPeak, Brian Hernandez did phenomenal on this horse in the Kentucky Derby. Backed it up with a pretty good second in the Preakness, just ran into a really good Lucas horse and seized the gray. And then the fatigue and the 3 races back-to-back kind of caught up with him in the Belmont, finishing 8th. Right now, I think the Pennsylvania Derby is the next slot for Mystik Dan later in the summer. Rightfully so. I think Kenny said that he was going to give this horse all the rest layoff that he needed. So hopefully we see this horse kind of getting back into it, picks up a nice win in the Pennsylvania Derby, sets him up for the Breeders' Cup Classic. 5th, we're going with Seize the Gray. Yes, beat out Mystik Dan in the Preakness and finished 1 spot ahead of him in the Belmont. Finished 7th in there for Dwayne Lucas. Winner of the Pat Day Mile, $1 million in earnings. Lovely gray for my racehorse in here. Another one pointed for the Jim Dandy, as a lot of these 3-year-olds are kind of setting up their summer with the Jim Dandy or the Travers, or even recently the Haskell. Looks really good. Obviously going to get much needed rest that the horse needs. We'll see if he needed longer rest, because the Jim Dandy will be a kind of a quick turnaround after running 3 bang-up races in a row. But definitely, Lucas really likes the horse. We will see what we get out of him. Number 4, Mindframe forward Todd Pletcher, currently on the case of second-itis. Second in the Belmont, second in the Haskell, from his maiden win and allowance win, where he really caught the eye of a lot of people, thinking that this horse would be a good runner, and obviously so, running second in both of those big Grade 1 stakes races. However, Irad comes out of the Haskell saying he needs blinkers. So we'll see if blinkers are put on him for the Travers and what kind of horse we get. If he blows them off the field or blows them out of the water, obviously blinkers are the right way to go, and we'll see going forward what Mindframe is able to do going into the fall for the Breeders' Cup. Number 3, we have Bookham Dano. Probably a different type of horse from all these other ones. Maybe one that's going to stay a little bit shorter at the mile or sprinting. Really good one for Derek Ryan that was over, finished second in the Saudi Derby to Forever Young. Stays or comes back to the States, finishes first in the Woody Stevens. Phenomenally, I believe he beat out Prince of Monaco, a really good Baffert horse. And then picks up another win in the Jersey Shore Stakes. This one is currently pointed to the Alan Jerkins. We'll have to face off against Prince of Monaco in there yet again. Definitely one to watch in that type of division, whether it's a mile or whatever they decide for this horse. Looks really good. And again, ran second to Forever Young, so kind of putting that one up as a top 3 just because he's stayed here in the States and has picked up some really good races in his last 2. Number 2, we got Dornoch. Yes, the most recent winner, first in the Haskell, first in the Belmont, 10th in the Kentucky Derby, $2 million in earnings for Danny Gargan, is pointed to the Travers right now. We'll see if that changes after winning the Haskell. But one that's probably in the best form of all these 3-year-old males right now. Obviously, 2 big wins, the Haskell and the Belmont, both times beating out Mindframe. In each of those, kind of doing it with the rail trip or kind of getting to the lead. So we'll see if that sticks to the guns in there. Kentucky Derby, when this horse finished 10th, no way did anybody think that he would rebound and win the Belmont or come back and win the Haskell 2 races in a row. He was kind of out of it from the Kentucky Derby, was beat out by Sierra Leone in one of the prep races. So we'll see going forward. This one looks really good right now in the form. Hopefully he can hold his form going into the Breeders' Cup. And obviously number 1, the only filly that made our top 10, Thorpedo Anna. Rightfully so. She's got like 5 or 6 straight wins for Kenny McPeak and Brian Hernandez. Just amazing what she's been able to do all spring and so far this summer. First in the Kentucky Oaks, first in the Acorn, and her most recent first in the Coaching Club, where she just blew the field away, even though it was a small field, but did it rarely easily. Looks to be bouncing back in the Alabama right now as her number 1. Yes, the connections are getting a lot of pressure to put this horse in the Travers against the boys. We will see. I think they stick to their guns and they'll stay with the Alabama and then obviously stick to racing against fillies for the rest of her 3-year-old season. Probably one that we will not see as 4-year-old. Like Dornoch has already kind of got a stud deal, so he's done after this year as well. Hopefully some of these others stick around so that we can at least have some of these decent 3-year-olds running again as 4-year-olds. But the business shows, history shows that this drop off, and then the 4 and 5-year-old crops kind of just weaken or diminish just because the horses go to the breeders' row. So there's our top 10 for the Inside Post. We hope you watched and liked this video. Make sure to subscribe down below. Leave us a horse that you think that we left off of our top 10, because I'm sure there are plenty out there that you consider or should be in your top 10 or in our top 10. So just let us know in the comments down below. Thanks for watching and enjoy your day.